What do we know about Islam? Not as much as we might think we do. Only basics and stereotypes.
The religion is under constant debate and everyone seems to have an opinion about it.
But let's check Islam on one of its main dogmas, that all mosques in the world must be oriented towards Mecca. Alright, here we have a map. The dark red marker on the map is Mecca. Some of the oldest and most known mosques in the world are indicated by blue markers. The black lines indicate the exact direction from Mecca to each of these mosques. Right now you only have to pay attention to the black lines. Here's the satellite photo. Again, these black lines go straight from Mecca to some of the ancient mosques that are marked with blue color. This one though is not ancient. It's Moscow Cathedral Mosque, the biggest mosque in Russia and one of the biggest mosques in Europe. The original structure was built in 1904, but the old mosque was demolished in 2011, officially partly because the orientation of it had to be corrected. Anyway, the new mosque that was built in 2015 matched perfectly all the canons of Islam. The building is very accurately oriented towards Mecca. The facade of the mosque is not perpendicular to the street unlike all the other buildings. The facade is looking strictly towards Mecca even though the building falls out of the common street architecture.
Let's look at the orientation of the mosques in Spain. Let's take the oldest mosque of Spain, Mosque of Cristo de la Luz. Officially it was not rebuilt since it was established in 999. As we see, this mosque is not oriented towards Mecca. It is actually facing the opposite way. Mosque Cathedral of Cordoba, officially built in 784 as a great mosque. According to official history, for a very long time it has been the biggest mosque in Europe. It was converted to a Roman Catholic church in 1236 during the Reconquista, the return of the Christian rule to Spain. But it has not been rebuilt or moved since. The temple is not facing Mecca in any way. Isn't it weird that the religious structures that were built by the Arab conquerors initially contradict the canons of Islam? The Great Mosque of Kairouan, Tunisia, officially built in 770. The temple is not oriented towards Mecca.
Mosque of Imam Ali in Iraq. This place is considered sacred both for Shiites and for Sunnis. The black line shows the direction to Mecca. This temple is not oriented towards Mecca.
The mosques in Cairo or Cairo in Egypt. Look at the black lines. These temples are not oriented towards Mecca. They are more accurately oriented towards Medina as the yellow lines indicate, but it's not Mecca. So, the Egyptian mosques are oriented towards Medina. According to the official history, the oldest mosque in the world, the Quba Mosque, is located in Medina. As you see on the black line, it is not oriented towards Mecca. But fine, maybe it makes sense, it is the oldest mosque after all. And therefore, it also makes sense that some of the Egyptian mosques are oriented towards this ancient temple, as showed before and as the yellow lines indicate. On the other hand, this mosque is perfectly oriented towards an ancient Christian city Aksum in Ethiopia, as the red line indicates, but it must be a coincidence, because how can Muslims on purpose build their religious constructions oriented towards Christian cities? Must be some kind of mistake. Iran, Mosque of Isfahan. As we see on the black lines, it is not oriented towards Mecca, even though maybe the builders were trying. But for some unknown reason, this temple is again perfectly oriented towards an ancient Christian city of Aksum in Ethiopia, as the red line indicate. Why haven't they rebuilt the mosque like they did in Russia? Same city, Isfahan in Iran. Abbasi Mosque, also called Imam Mosque. Again, it's almost oriented towards Mecca. The black line shows the direction to Mecca, the red line shows the direction towards the Ethiopian city of Aksum. Again, coincidence? Well, let it be a coincidence. Damascus, Syria, one of the oldest and biggest mosques in the world. But it's not oriented towards Mecca. The errors cannot be acceptable for such a significant and a large structure. So let's see the actual direction. Funny thing, look at the red line. This mosque is also oriented towards the Ethiopian city of Aksum. The Dome of the Rock, located in the old city of Jerusalem. This mosque, together with Al-Aqsa Mosque and Al-Marwani Mosque, forms a famous temple complex that is called Temple Mount. Weird, the complex is not oriented towards Mecca, but again perfectly oriented towards the Ethiopian city of Aksum as the red lines show. Funny situation, don't you think? The main temples of Islam violate the basic dogmas of their own religion. Besides that, they are oriented towards the Christian Mecca, not the real Mecca.
Here is another example. The Sultan Ahmed Mosque, or the Blue Mosque, the main mosque of Istanbul, Turkey. This mosque was built after the so-called 13-year war in 1606 by Sultan Ahmed I. It was a territorial war between the Ottoman Empire and the Habsburg monarchy. The mosque is not oriented towards Mecca. Actually, the orientation of the mosque is towards the oldest church in Vienna in Austria, which is, by the way, is oriented back against the Blue Mosque. Sultan Ahmed I built his mosque oriented towards his enemy. There is not a single mosque in the world that was built before the 18th century which would be oriented towards Mecca. All the most famous and cult-religious constructions of Islam rudely contradict their own canons. Consequently, Islamic dogmas are fake.